Before we start, there is a spoiler warning for multiple moments from almost every Survivor season, so if you don't want to be spoiled, please turn back now. When Survivor was released, it became America's biggest obsession. In 2001, it was the highest rated show on television, beating out the likes of Friends, West Wing, and Everybody Loves Raymond. Over 2 decades after its release, it is still releasing new seasons, but its newest seasons have been some of the show's least successful. With Survivor seemingly at its lowest point, let's take a look at how we got here. These are the highs and lows of Survivor. Survivor follows a group of castaways that are marooned on an island, then shows these castaways as they try to survive. The castaways are split into tribes, which are the group of people that they live with. These tribes compete in challenges, and at the end of each episode, one castaway from a losing tribe is voted off at tribal council. Eventually, these tribes merge and it becomes every castaway for themselves. At this point, only one person can win immunity from tribal council at challenges. People are voted out until the finalists remain. At this point, Survivor showcases one of its most interesting elements. All the castaways voted off since the merge then vote to determine who wins the season and who's awarded $1 million. As I previously mentioned, this show was must-see TV when it came out. In an article by Entertainment Weekly, Keith, a contestant on the show's second season, remarked that being a contestant was like being a big Hollywood star. Many survivors went on to be featured in magazines or seen on other TV shows, and Survivor even got Rosie O'Donnell to host the Season 4 reunion show. This level of popularity is unsustainable for any form of media. But Survivor has been able to maintain a consistent viewership across its lifespan. No season of the show dipped under 10 million average viewers until its 30th season. This can mainly be attributed to the creativity of the show. Every season was filmed at a different location until Fiji became the show's permanent home in season 33. Many seasons also had fun themes, such as splitting the tribes into if the castaways possessed brains, brawn, or beauty, giving castaways that never won the game a second chance to win, and pitting fans of the show against some of the show's best players. Many of the best moments in Survivor history is when they let their characters shine. After winning the first season, Richard Hatch became America's public enemy #1 after winning in such a villainous manner. Then, we got to watch Colby Donaldson don a metaphorical superhero cape in the Australian outback with a very loyal game. In Survivor All-Stars, we watched Boston Rob and Amber fall in love and become reality TV's premier couple. Parvati became one of the most feared names in Survivor when her cutthroat gameplay helped her win Micronesia. Then, in one of the most exciting seasons in television history, the show's greatest heroes and villains clashed, where Sandra became the show's first 2-time winner and became the Queen of Survivor. No season has reached the viewership levels or critical acclaim of Heroes vs. Villains since it aired. But following the heights of this season, the show entered what many Survivor fans classify as the dark ages of Survivor. This lasted from the show's 21st to around its 26th season. The seasons in this era are regarded as some of the show's worst. Nicaragua, the 21st season, is widely considered to be one of the dullest seasons of the show, since it produced one of the show's least powerful winners in Fabio. Season 22, Redemption Island, and Season 24, One World, are both considered bottom 5 seasons due to featuring highly predictable winners, which are obvious from the first few episodes. Seasons during this span were bogged down due to the introduction of Redemption Island, which gave players that were previously voted out the opportunity to enter the game. This twist caused some fans to question the integrity of the game for allowing such a drastic twist. But if this was the dark ages of the show, then the next 10 seasons would be the Renaissance. During this era, we saw seasons like Cagayan, Cambodia, and David vs. Goliath, which are all considered to be top 5 seasons. During this span, we met Jeremy, who flew low enough under the radar to win Survivor Cambodia. In Blood vs. Water, Sierra created the biggest Survivor meme ever when she voted out her mom. Kelly Wentworth unleashed an idol explosion in Cambodia, negating the most votes in Survivor history. Christian's nerdy personality captured many Survivor fans' hearts in David vs. Goliath. And Toady, whose gameplay was more high-octane than a Tom Cruise action movie, won Cagayan and became Survivor's first king when he also won Winners at War. These are just a few of the fun characters from this era. Many advantages were also introduced during this time, such as extra votes, idol nullifiers, and the Final Four fire-making challenge. Though CBS will never be forgiven for taking away the Survivor auction, these twists being introduced help enrich the game and improve the show's overall product. But too much of a good thing can a lot of times become a bad thing, and advantages in Survivor are definitely proof of that. This brings us to present day, where we are possibly in the lowest point in Survivor history. This period of the show has become infamous for introducing so many twists that the focus of the show is seemingly no longer on watching castaways develop as characters. So many idols and extra votes are being tossed around during this era that the show has now started listing advantages when players are having their confessionals. This show's modern downfall started with the Edge of Extinction. It was a twist that was introduced in the 38th season of the show. This twist allowed players that had been previously voted out 2 opportunities to win a challenge and get back in the game. This led to Chris Underwood becoming likely the most divisive winner in Survivor history when he became the first castaway to win the game after being voted out. Season 39, Island of the Idols, continued this downward spiral as the game simply became overrun with advantages. During this season, it became hard for hardcore fans, much less casual fans, to follow where the advantages were going. This was mainly due to players being sent to an island to obtain an advantage from Boston Rob and Sandra. Ironically, Tommy, the winner of this season, never visited this island. While Season 40 Winners at War is considered to be an all-time great season, it is overall bogged down by twists. This season, containing the Edge of Extinction, a currency system and fire tokens, along with a whole host of new twists, hindered possibly the greatest cast of all time. So, while it is one of the best seasons of the decade, the twists held it back from reaching the heights of heroes versus villains. Survivor 41 was the start of a new era, which led to it introducing some of the most controversial twists of all time. Part of the reason for this influx of advantages were players frequently traveling to an island to either lose or gain a vote. But when I mentioned this season, everyone's mind was most likely on the Hourglass twist. If you don't know what I'm talking about, buckle up because this is gonna get crazy. At the merge, the castaways were split into 2 tribes to compete in a challenge. Whichever tribe won the challenge would be immune at the subsequent tribal council. But there were 2 castaways who weren't split into tribes. The winning tribe got to pick one of these people to also be immune, and the person that was not picked would be vulnerable at the next tribal council and would also be sent to Exile Island. Erica was the person not chosen, but while at exile, Jeff presented her with an hourglass. If she didn't smash it, then nothing would change. But if she did, then her, along with the losing tribe, would be immune at the following tribal council, and the winning tribe would instead be eligible to be voted out. She made the choice I think everyone predicted when she chose to be immune. Many people at home felt like this was an unfair twist for reversing the result of a challenge. Another notable twist during this era was when the first person to lose a challenge, who in this case was Deshaun, would have to face a challenge at Tribal Council. When I was watching this episode with my friends, we thought that maybe he'd have the chance to lose his vote or face something of a similar caliber. But what actually happened is he had to pick between 3 boxes. If he chose one box, he'd be safe, but if he chose any of the other 2, then he would be out of the game. This gave him only a 33% chance of being safe, but it was increased to 50% when Jeff gave Deshaun the opportunity to switch to boxes when they got down to 2. Deshaun did end up being safe, But if he wasn't, then I imagine that this would be remembered in a similar vein to the Hourglass twist. Twists are not inherently bad in Survivor. Staples in this game like tribe swaps and immunity idols were once very controversial twists. But it's just the massive influx of twists that has seen the show get progressively harder to follow. The most popular seasons of the show have been ones where we've been able to connect to the characters and watch their personalities blossom. But Survivor is far from beyond repair. If the show cut back on twists and let characters' personalities blossom, then the show would be able to get back to the heights that it previously was at. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more pop culture related videos, please drop a like or subscribe.